This is the story of how we make decisions in an age of unprecedented choice. Consider this. In 2009, we created more data than in the entire history of mankind until that point. By 2014, we'll have created 10 times that amount. Today, the average American supermarket carries over 48,000 items, and you can buy 216 different toothpastes at Walmart.com. With so much choice, how do we decide? Economists have an answer: by weighing the costs and benefits of any situation to maximize our personal advantage. We are rational beings, they say. This idea makes sense and elevates us above animals. Surely, we must be rational beings. But then, how do you explain waiting in line for days to be the first to buy an iPad? Or the number of brilliant politicians that risk entire careers for a quickie? To understand what we're about to discuss, imagine that the length of your arm represents the last 500,000 years of human history. From the invention of fire and tools at your shoulder to today at your fingertips. As your eyes travel down your shoulder, imagine the countless generations of hairy ancestors that roamed the savannah in small groups, looking for berries, fleeing danger, surviving winters and disease. Keep traveling down the length of your arm, past your wrist and into your hand. Your ancestors are still hunter-gatherers. It is only where the skin ends and fingernail begins that agriculture is invented. Everything that's happened since Cleopatra, from the fall of Egypt to the space shuttle, fits in that bit of nail you cut off with clippers. What this means that for 98% of our history, we have survived on instincts, not reason. Our DNA is soaked with the results of 450,000 years of unforgiving evolutionary fine-tuning. We are driven by an irrepressible and subconscious need to replicate the behavior that made our ancestors successful in the wild. How does that affect you? Consider this next puzzle. If a bat and ball cost $1.10 and the bat costs $1 more than the ball, how much does the ball cost? Easy, right? 10 cents. Wrong. If the ball cost 10 cents, then the bat would cost $1.10 and the total would be $1.20. The reason you got it wrong has nothing to do with your math proficiency. More than 50% of Harvard students also gave the wrong answer. You got it wrong because for 500,000 years, the quickest good enough solution was better than a slow perfect one. Thinking is expensive. The brain accounts for only 2% of your weight but consumes 20% of your energy, and there's no time for slow perfect answers when survival is at stake. Just like the contraction of your pupils in bright light, this tendency to make quick calls is embedded in your DNA, and it is hardly the only thing your ancestors left you. Like every living thing, we are driven by two basic needs: to survive and pass our genes on to the next generation. These needs are in turn supported by secondary instincts that vary by species. Individually, humans are so vulnerable that we are born with the social skills to ensure our acceptance within the group, and it's the reason solitary confinement is considered one of the cruelest forms of torture. This aversion to being separated from the pack is one we share with other social animals like whales and elephants. The belonging instinct is so critical that the chemicals released in our bloodstream when we address it light up the same parts of the brain as food and sex do. It is our addiction to dopamine that ensures that we keep repeating certain behaviors for as long as they are needed. Every time someone likes your Facebook post or we check on a friend's new picture, we are subconsciously satisfying our belonging instinct, so our brain rewards us with dopamine. In other words, Zuckerberg is a dopamine pusher, making $4 billion a year from our addiction to the chemical rewards that come from social interaction. By chance or design, every day, other successful people and companies also leverage our animal instincts to their advantage. In every movie he makes, Coppola identifies one guiding theme, one word to inform the entire process. For The Godfather, it was succession, Hollywood speak for passing your genes on to the next generation. Basing the whole story on a single animal instinct doesn't only fuel social media and inspire cinematic masterpieces, it is also extremely profitable. By redesigning the entire brand to appeal to the human instinct for personal progression, Johnny Walker generated an incremental $2.2 billion in revenue with its Keep Walking campaign. In a nutshell, the difference between working with instincts versus insights is that instincts offer a chance to create a message your audience is biologically hardwired to respond to. So whether you work in politics or marketing, understanding animal instincts and identifying the most relevant ones in each business scenario provides an efficient framework for anyone interested in influencing human behavior. Because we are animals. Chaco.